the PBS. Okay. Paul Cash.
Here.
Gordon is not. Terry McCulley.
Here.
Damon Jackson.
Here.
David Remy is not. Drew Kraft is not. Brooke Tharp.
Here.
Very good. Well, we have enough for a quorum, so we can go ahead and proceed with the meeting. And Brooke, before we go any further, I believe Secretary Curry would like to address the board.
Hey, thank you. I just wanted to take a few minutes. It's been a little while since I've had the opportunity to join one of your board meetings, but I wanted to say Happy New Year. I wanted to tell you how much we appreciate the work that y'all do on behalf of the state of Arkansas. Congratulate both Brooke and Terry for their recent reappointments by the governor. I'm sure y'all saw those. So it's always good to have those processes moving. And I know y'all are going to take this up on the agenda, but I wanted to acknowledge our staff members and Kevin and his team for work on the proposed rules that you're going to be hearing later today. That's been a process that, as y'all all know, we started before last session. We had the statutory amendments last session. We're kind of gotten to a time crunch here. So we've had the opportunity to work with a lot of different people, a lot of good people at the governor's office as well, to make sure that we had that for a vote to initiate today. So I just wanted to thank you all for your work on that. Also, I know Pete and Dan and Amanda working on that process, and we're happy that we have these for a potential vote to initiate today because of the timing in that statute. It's kind of important and crucial that we get that process rolling. Also wanted to just say thanks to the governor for issuing her emergency declaration. I'm sure that, Kevin, you've sent that out by now. We've been working with her staff and Rachel Natton over there and their legal team for the past couple of days on that since Kevin, you sent that request. We had an opportunity to review some drafts of it yesterday, provide some input, and I know she signed it earlier today and has issued that. So that's an important thing. I know that this coming into this weekend, your industry is as vital as ever and important as ever as we come into this winter weather, and we just appreciate what y'all do. Glad that the governor was able to issue that proclamation to help you all do the business you need to do and help people stay warm. And I just really wanted to say thank y'all for what you do and for providing that service. I know it's going to be a lot of work for y'all over the next few days and few weeks as we kind of go through this storm and this process. But for what it's worth, I just wanted to personally say thank you for what you do and y'all's efforts. So that's all I had. Also, if y'all have any questions for me about the department or things we're working on, I'm happy to answer those. I just wanted to take a few minutes and kind of congratulate you all, talk about the importance of the rules, talk about the waiver and appreciate the work that y'all are going to be doing over the next few days and few weeks as we go through this storm.
Well, and I thank you in your part that you played, Secretary, for taking that to the governor. We had some. I think that all the states that are around us everybody's anxious, and you watch the news and they say it's going to be terrible and heightens everybody, and then the customers they got 60-70% and they're calling in, we've got 10%, hurry, it's just that kind of deal. But that will alleviate that. The hours of service will go a long way towards alleviating the bottlenecks in the chain. So we appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. And I don't think I have shared with the other board members the reappointments of Brooke and Terry were after our last board meeting. So thank you. There's been some concern along those lines. So things are moving, and we appreciate your efforts there.
Yeah, I think they're working to get caught up on some of those appointments. I know that we had quite a few in that round. We have some, we also had a Police Control and Ecology Commission. I don't remember the exact days, but we had a couple of those recently, and starting to work on some of the other ones that are still either coming up or maybe have already passed. But we're in communications with them, so we'll continue to work on that process and happy to keep you updated as I hear and learn more once they become official.
Very good. Do any of our board members have any questions or comments of the secretary? We certainly.
All right, well, thank y'all for letting me have a few minutes, and stay safe out there this weekend. We appreciate what you do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Brooke?
All right, at this time, I would like to ask, is there a motion for reading of the minutes, or is there a motion to dispense and approve the minutes from our 12/4/25 meeting?
Make a motion, we suspend the minutes. I'll second.
Okay, there's been a motion to dispense and approve the minutes from 12/4/2025. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? All right, Kevin, at this time, if we have a representative from Feral Gas or someone, do they need to join the discussion?
Yes, I will we're going to have Doug Knoll from Feral Gas joining us. And just as soon as he joins us, in your package that I sent out, and we'll wait and make sure that Doug can hear us and that we can hear him. Doug, can you hear us okay?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, we can hear you very good. So if you would, I'll let you know that we're kind of pressed for time. If you would allow me to kind of talk about what you've got on your mind, and then you can correct if I misstep. Is that good, Doug?
Sounds good, sir.
Okay, so y'all recall at our last board meeting, we kind of got caught up in talking about the mobile cylinder filling application and the specifics of a customer. And then there was some concern with hose and being draped across where forklifts might get. And so I discussed this with Doug. And if you can pull up that second slide on your package that I sent out, what you'll see is a bottle dock or a forklift cylinder dock. And then you'll see, is that a 6 or an 8 skid there, Doug?
6,000, sir.
What I would like you to imagine, and this customer has asked that there not be, that they don't want to continue to fill their own forklifts. So in order to accommodate their request, if you can imagine that this tank is gone, and on that concrete pad is a series of cylinder cages, cylinder racks with cylinders. What Doug is asking for is a waiver to use some hose management like a hose reel, and we are limited by our new rule that the secretary just talked about that y'all are going to vote on promulgating here in a minute. We're limited to 19 feet. If we would give them a waiver, then what they could do is take a set of scales on wheels, and they could roll it in front of these cages down that concrete and pull the hose and fill those cylinders. And you can see that it's protected. It is inside any travel area. But that would alleviate or necessitate using something like what we were talking about on site, and would allow them to take care of their customer with that waiver. Doug, did I present that properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Damon, Paul, Brooke, do y'all have, Terry, do y'all have any questions or concerns with what the ask is?
What is the waiver, Kevin? They want to go over 19 feet?
Yes.
Yes, sir. We want to go over 19 feet. Yes, sir.
To what feet?
Well, I mean, the length it's probably not going to need to be the whole length of that tank, but for racks and stuff of this one here, but I'd say probably at least 50, because the pump and everything is mounted over here by the, as you can see right there by the end of the tank there. But the hose and stuff stretched it over towards the racks at this point right now. But of course, we would turn that around. But
Yeah. Oh, I see now, Doug, that you do have some racks underneath the covering.
yes,
Those would be moved out and replace that tank. Is that correct?
correct.
Okay. So it might not even be 50 feet. That,
Well, there's not enough space there for them to go back there with a 2R in the back. But if we go out here on the front and the back of this tank area, there is extra slab that goes out to each side where the racks would be going.
okay.
And it's just and like I said, it may not be 50 feet, but it may be 40 or. But I mean, I did not. Unfortunately, I did not step it off or measure it to get an exact distance when I was just there the other day.
Yeah, and that would be in addition to the 19 that 58 allows. So, it might be 30 feet.
Right.
With the
Could be. Could be.
3/4 hose, 1/2 inch hose, what are we looking at?
Hey, PC, you broke up.
I think he was referring to,
3/4 inch hose or 1/2 inch hose?
3/4. That's
Do
what's
they
on there
make it-
currently on the pump right now is 3/4. I was just going to continue with the same 3/4. I can move it down to half. I mean, that's it.
Yeah,
Filling
Do they
forklift
make
bottles, it's not going to be that big of a difference.
I would move it to a half and then possibly even look at, do they make a passive shutdown for that hose that they could do like we do on our transport hose?
It's like a smart hose is what you're talking about, sir?
Correct.
I don't know that they do. I mean, I'm sure we could install like a Snappy Joe or something in the, in line with it if we're going to continue off of the hose that's there.
That would already need to be in place, right, Kevin, for the,
It is
Yeah.
for the existing installation, but I meant just for the hose part of it yourself. I don't know that they make a 1/2 inch or even a 3/4 inch in the smart hose.
I'm just looking at reducing volume. I mean, it's really not going to affect your pumping with going down to 1/2 inch. Just reduces, if something did rupture in that distance, somebody catch it, whatever on the hose, that
Right. Reduce the volume loss.
reduce the volume. Yes.
Yes, sir. Totally understand.
I would look in to see, I mean, if they do have smart hose, if it's available, I think that would be smart to do a passive shutdown on that in case something did rupture.
Okay.
How does that affect your flow rate going from 3/4 to a half and then extending it beyond the 19 feet?
Well, I mean, even on a C12, which is what's in place there, I mean, maximum you're going to get out is about 12 gallons a minute if it's at 100%. So I don't know that you're going to lose that much flow out of it, but
Okay.
I mean, it's going to slow it down a little bit. But
I wouldn't perceive that you'd have much friction loss.
No, that pump would build the differential needed to fill the cylinders. It wouldn't be an issue.
may just have to change the differential pressure on the bypass or whatever to make sure we're still set good.
Yeah, and I don't know if I know that Smart Hose makes all kinds of different hoses. When you get into custom stuff and one-offs and then that stuff just goes through the roof. But we certainly they make a you could put a remote shutdown, a simple remote shutdown on a valve that the individual filling the cylinders would carry with him in the event that there was an incident. He could hit the button and run off, and it would close the ESV. Similar to our bulk plants, similar to a shutdown on a bobtail.
Electronic remote, or are you talking about like a cable remote or a pneumatic remote, something of that sort?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, they have all kinds of pneumatic flip switches, or they're for ESVs. So,
Right.
Well, when considering this as like a bobtail type operation, and I think that's the direction that we went with this, it would need to have that active shutdown system on it anyway.
well, the pumping station now currently does have an electronic shutdown and everything on it. So, I mean, it's right there at the first pole there between the tank and the driveway there. It's mounted on that. Well, you can't see. It's the second pole behind the one with the sign on it there in the front.
I got you. You can see it. It's pneumatic.
Yes. Well,
Yep.
there's a pneumatic one, and then there's also electronic for the power side of it too.
Is there? Okay. Very good.
Yes,
Very
there
good.
is both right there.
Is the hose on a reel?
It currently is not, but it's staying within the 19 feet right now. So
And you're asking
I can
for,
put it on a reel, or I had mentioned to Kevin before when we were talking about we could have a storage box there that, we rolled it up and put it in the box
Yeah.
when we're not using it, something to protect it from the weather and not having it weathered
Yeah.
as much as it was before. So I could do it several different ways, but even on a hose reel, it still gets a little weathered in there. So
Moored hose does make it in a half and a 3/4 all the way up to 1 inch.
okay, good information. Thank you.
And you're asking for a waiver not to exceed 50 feet?
Not to exceed 50 feet. I don't think that I would need to exceed the 50 feet.
Okay.
All right.
Well, at minimum, it would need, if we don't do the smart hose on that, I would recommend for sure doing, the breakaway, possibly even on both ends, if it's not already planned to do that.
It currently has a breakaway on the one that's there. So
Okay.
it would be coming off of that breakaway there on that end already. So
Okay. Sounds like y'all covered it.
we've tried, sir.
I know.
So to put this in the form of a motion, Brooke, would you allow me to go ahead and
Yeah.
just verbalize something? Okay. The request would be to use 1/2 inch hose that did not exceed 50 feet, that incorporated a remote shutdown and a hose management system. Is everybody good with that verbiage? Doug, are
Make
you
that motion.
I am.
okay?
All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? All
Okay.
right. Looks like it.
Terry, hey,
there.
Brooke, Terry give the first,
Yes.
but we didn't get a second.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I second.
Second. All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, with that, it sounds like we're going to approve the waiver for the 1/2 inch hose, not greater than 50 feet with the remote shutdown option, as Kevin described there, and as he set up that motion for us. So very good.
Very good. And Doug, I appreciate you being with us today. And Terry
Yes.
Barnes, the inspector down there, I'll hook him up with you, and you can just work with him going forward.
I've been working with Terry already, so he's great to work with. So I appreciate that, sir. I'll give him a call.
Okay. Appreciate you being with us today.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a great day.
Cheers.
All right, Kevin, if we have our next representative from Gas Equipment Company, Gene Morrison, if they're available for our next order of business.
Yes, I did not see. Okay, I did not, Gene has not entered the room. So I'll just speak on his behalf, and the board can, you can do whatever you'd like to. This has to do with finishing up the mobile trailer filling. We have talked about this. We've introduced it three meetings ago, have talked about it too. This is really what was the source of the special meeting today. We took care of the application with Doug. We just did that. But what I would like you all to consider is, I think that this can be a good tool for the state, for especially when we're thinking about what we're fixing to go through. If we had some of these in the state, they could be utilized to make sure that people got gas, even if there was no power available. In talking with you all, this would be viewed like a bobtail. We had in our original offering for this piece of equipment, we had said that it would be necessary for it to be operated by somebody that was held a BD or somebody that held a CAF. And I think going forward, this is so much like a bobtail. then I would feel more comfortable if the only people that were certified to utilize this piece of equipment held a bobtail delivery certification. We've got the inspection. This thing would be decaled and inspected on a regular basis, just like our bobtails on an annual basis. It would be limited to be utilized within the permitted Class 1 permitted territory, and it could be viewed very similar to a bobtail. Does anybody have any other input or questions?
For me, that makes a lot.
Go ahead, Brooke.
I was just going to say, for me, that makes a lot of sense. I know we've talked about how to manage this in what seems like an infinite amount of ways, but that seems like a pretty simplified and streamlined approach when you think about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Is there any other thoughts or discussion on this?
So yeah, I have a question. This we're not just approving this particular unit for this particular use. We're approving this vehicle for future use in the propane industry.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay.
And we didn't want to change this just for one particular customer or one particular dealer. We wanted to open this up for the possible use for other dealers to be able to do the same thing.
Any propane dealer in the state. Did we decide how long a hose we were going to allow?
Well,
Managed in the same way a bob truck would be? Same length of.
yeah, yes, and I think that would, if it was a cylinder filling application, then it would be stationary, and the hose would be utilized in a close proximity. But what if somebody found rather than have a generator up on this trailer? I don't know the difference between maneuvering a fifth wheel and a 2-ton truck. Obviously the 2-ton truck in the form of a bobtail has been the choice to deliver gas, but I could see that there could be an application where they'd want to put a 1-ton dually under this thing, or a 2-ton shortened and a fifth wheel, and put a 3-inch pump on it and fill poultry, or use it in other ways. So Terry, I don't know if maybe limiting the hose length in for cylinder filling applications. Of course, we've got other things that would have to be on there. The pump could not exceed 20 gallons a minute. So we could designate, depending on what they were using it for, some other things.
Well, I think we need to, because otherwise we might be back what we were discussing earlier, that somebody wanting to put a 100-foot hose on it and stretching it across the parking lot. That's what concerns me.
I don't disagree with that. We've really got 2 applications: filling DO2 cylinders or filling ASME tanks.
Correct.
And, would you all agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
So we can designate, if it's going to be set up to be utilized to fill DO2 cylinders, that we limit the amount of hose to 19 feet and the pump to 20 GPM.
I agree.
I could go along with that.
And if you're going the other way, it's just like a bobtail.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to for filling residential or something.
You
All right.
want to limit that vehicle to 19 feet?
If it's got a 20 gallon GPM pump and it's used for cylinder filling. They would still have to have a set of scales and, all that. We're just talking about the unit itself. That's what a dispensing unit is limited to, per NFPA 58 is 19 feet. That's to allow filling, RVs, both sides. It's got saddle tanks on it, to stretch it out.
I don't know.
I'm thinking out loud, but is this contradictory to what we just approved for one use or a particular dealer use at this location that Farrell's requested? I'm confused here. If we're
Yeah, me
limiting to
too.
19 feet, is it 19 or is it 50?
Well, that was a one-time special waiver that you did, not for the general industry, but for that particular location, and for that particular customer.
I know, but we're already writing an exception to a new rule. Is this not the same vehicle that we're talking about placing at the Cooper Tire place?
No, they will not be utilizing this piece of equipment there. They don't need to because of the waiver that you just gave them.
If we're gonna limit it to CDL bobtail drivers, I don't see why the capacity of the pump and the hose could not be the same as a bobtail or up to a bobtail. I would almost give them the choice of the size of pump for the application. But if we're going to make a bobtail driver drive it, then I would say that it could handle, if gas equipment wants to put on a larger pump and a larger hose equal to a bobtail, I don't see why that. I don't see a problem with that. Like if you had a 420, you wanted to go down and fill 420s, at food trucks, or if you wanted to, just fill any kind of tank where you need the extra hose for whatever reason.
Damon, that's what we were talking about. You'd have two applications, one for doing that and then one just for bottle filling. And that's why it'd be just a 19-foot hose. I believe it's correct. Is that not right, Kevin?
I think that's the direction we were headed in the discussion, is that depending on the application is how the mobile unit would be outfitted. If they were going to use it to fill DOT cylinders, then it would be outfitted with a 20 GPM or less with a 19-foot hose. If they were going to use it for ASME, then it could have the standard, 120-foot hose on it and a 3-inch pump.
So anybody that buys one of these with a 19-foot can come back and ask, like Ferro Gas just did today, for an exception?
Well, again, this is not going to be utilized with this customer that they just asked for the waiver.
Oh, I understand, but it's still a possibility for somebody to ask for a waiver.
Oh, I'm there's always that possibility. That's correct. They could come to the board and ask for a waiver.
I may be misthinking here, but if I was going to spend that kind of money on that kind of equipment, I'd want it to be as versatile as possible, and I don't see where 19 feet makes it very versatile. Oh man!
All right. So, is there anybody that would like to make a motion either way concerning the mobile application?
I'd like to extend it to 50 feet and say half inch at 50 feet instead of limited to 19 feet.
Okay, so on the cylinder filling application, we would allow a 50 feet of half inch and limit the size of the pump, and that's for DOT filling. And then in the other application, it would just be a standard setup, just like on a bobtail.
That makes more sense so that we can incorporate more. I mean, I think we're going to be in constant limbo on this at 19 feet. That's not from a
Okay.
piece of equipment this size. You think about draping that hose off of that piece of equipment, even getting down to the scales. That's almost no distance.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm opposed to the 19-foot limit, if that counts for anything.
Well, the motion that Paul made was to have the two applications, 50 feet, a half inch, and a 20 GPM pump, a limited 25 GPM pump, and for DOT cylinder filling, and then treat it like a bobtail for ASME filling.
I'll second, Kevin.
Terry, second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? Nay. Motion carries.
All right. Thank you very much, y'all. Oh, I'm sorry. Brooke,
Yeah.
what's next?
Okay, yeah, so moving on, if I can get, Kevin to help us move on, we'll go to our next guest, for, it'll be Matador Gas.
Yes, let me, we'll get Matt. Terry looks like he's with us, and David Conley. David, can you hear us okay? Could you unmute?
Yes, I can.
And we can hear you very good. Matt, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. I was muted as well.
We can hear you. Okay, so Matt and David are with Matador Gas, and they're coming before the board they just acquired the assets of Stone County Propane, and so there would be a transfer of permit on a Class 1 dealer. So the chair, do any of the board members have any questions concerning this acquisition? Stone County up in Mountain View. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with that company. Jack Green started that years ago, and his two boys and daughter have been running it, I guess, probably the last 15 years or so. And they've made the decision to sell to Matador. We've received everything. Everything is in order.
So there's pending actions other than just the approval from the board for the transfer?
Correct.
Very good. Is there any discussion from any of the board members related to this action? Okay, I'm going to take that as hearing none. Is there a motion to approve the transfer of the permit from Stone County Propane to Matador Gas?
I make a
Motion
motion
that we do that.
Is there a second?
I second.
Very good. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes.
All right. David and Matt, I appreciate you taking the time, and I hope there wasn't too much of a bad deal waiting in the room.
No, that's okay.
Thank you. We're good. I appreciate
Thank you
it.
guys so much, and hope you'll have a great weekend.
I hope you all do too. Sell a lot of gas.
Yes, sir.
Trying.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Paul, one. Damon was two.
All right. I think, Kevin, this is probably the time where we could really use you to give us an update on our rules and where we're at with that in this process and kind of next steps.
Very good. So as the secretary said, and I think I sent this out, we heard back from the governor's office, and the draft of the rules were approved. And so what we need, we need you all to vote on accepting the rules as changed, and that you all have got copies of that. We've had the changes made and everybody's aware of them. We need that in the form of a motion, and also to start the promulgation process. And let me just ask Dan if, well, and you might, Charlie, you might be able to tell us too. Is that what we're looking for, Dan?
That's correct.
Do we need that in two separate motions, or can we consolidate that all kind of holistically together?
I have no problem with consolidating that.
All right. Is there anyone today that wants to discuss, has any questions or concerns with the rules as they've been shared to the group? And hearing none, I would like to ask, is there anyone that would like to make a motion to approve the rules as they've been revised and communicated, and then start the process of promulgation?
I'll move, Brooke.
Very good. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Very good. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? And motion carries. Okay, with that, we've kind of got to the end of our tagged agenda list. Is there any other business that needs to come before the board during this special meeting? All right. First, I'd like to give Kevin and the team a huge thank you for giving us all the tools that we needed and doing the homework so we could move through these items. There were a lot of items on the list today, and we moved through them quite quickly. Is there anything you'd like to add, Kevin, before we close?
No, I appreciate everybody being here. It was a terrible, terrible time for a meeting. Everybody's running hard. Everybody's under the gun. But it was important. The promulgation process now, I feel confident with Pete and with our legal team that's working on this, that we can get things turned around before April 1st, that's what we needed to do. So I appreciate everybody. And I hope that everybody is safe and warm. And everybody is, nobody gets 100 calls between now and that's already can't happen. That's already happened, I know. But appreciate everybody. And hope everybody has a blessed day.
Okay, well,
I make a motion that we adjourn.
there we go. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second, very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you all. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you, Brooke. Thank you, Kevin.
Y'all have a good day.
You too.